It's barely been over a year since the Renault Kiger was first launched in India, and for 2022, the model has already received a facelift. We are here at the Kiger Celebration Drive, celebrating more than 50,000 units of the SUV being sold in India, and it's also time to find out what's new in the Kiger for 2022. The design changes of the new Renault Kiger are limited to a new skid plate up front, red color hubcaps for the alloy wheels, turbo decals on the side, and a chrome garnish at the rear. You also get a new stealth black color option. Now that we have talked about the styling, let's get behind the wheel of the 2022 Renault Kiger. Now we are behind the wheel of the Renault Kiger today, and this is an SUV that we are familiar with. We have taken it on pan-India drives, and the thing that impresses us the most about the Kiger is the way it deals with our road conditions. It's a fact that after the war, the French roads were absolutely ravaged, and the French car makers like Renault were forced to make suspensions that could cope up, and that is why the Kiger absolutely shines in our Indian road conditions. Now we are on a smooth road right now. Kerala is blessed with many such smooth roads, but it's not a smooth sailing all the way through. There are plenty of bad patches. There are craters as bad as the ones that you'd find in Mumbai or Pune, and over those bad sections the Kiger feels plush. The low speed ride quality, the primary ride quality so to speak, is very plush. There's plenty of ground clearance. You never have to worry about bottoming out, and the Kiger, it never feels that it is going off course or it will be thrown off course. And for someone who will likely upgrade from a hatchback to an SUV like the Kiger, this is a big plus because it inspires massive confidence behind the wheel. You don't really have to slow down for bad patches. Obviously you cannot hammer through them like you would in a Volkswagen Group car, so to speak, for example, but it does inspire massive confidence. You can do mile munching, it munches miles with ease, and just that ride quality that the Kiger has, it makes driving in our conditions so much more peaceful, so much more easier. Now obviously such great ride comfort does come a bit at the expense of handling. The Kiger is not tuned to be a sharp handler like some of its rivals. It likes to take things a bit more easily, so if you're pushing it at 10/10ths, it's not going to be very happy being there. But if you drive it at 8/10ths, if you drive it in a leisurely cruise, if you're just chugging along, munching the miles, this is such a good SUV to be doing that with. Now the steering, obviously it is very light, it is direct, but it's not very communicative, so you don't exactly know what is going on at the front wheels. It points the Kiger where you need it to go. It feels responsive enough, but it is not an enthusiastic handler by any benchmark. That tag would belong to the likes of the Venue. But this steering and this overall suspension setup, which feels robust, feels comfortable and easygoing, it is very encouraging for newer drivers, and you can munch miles with ease. Now obviously the typical buyer for a Kiger would be someone who uses it on the city commute and occasionally on the highways, and in that sense the Kiger is very well thought out. You get a nice driving position. It's not as high as a proper bona fide SUV, but yes, it is much better than a hatchback, so you get a better view of the road. You sit higher above other cars, so you don't get bullied out of the way, which is a big pain for hatchback drivers, I'll tell you. Now the high set seating position, it makes driving in India such a stress-free task. It feels so, you feel relaxed, you feel in control, you don't feel tired. That's a big USP of an SUV like the Kiger. Now you get a few subtle tweaks for 2022 on the interiors of the Renault Kiger. You get this nice trim on the dashboard. You get a wireless charger, now a standard, not an optional accessory. You also get contrast stitching for the seats, and the seats themselves are quilted. Apart from that, you get a digital instrument cluster, the same as before, and it is one of the nicest digital cockpits that you can find at this price point. The animations are good. The colors and the animations change when you change the drive modes. No paddle shifters, obviously, but small things like these make you feel good about buying a car at such a competitive price point. You also get ambient lighting around the cabin, and it's easy to spend long hours behind the wheel of the Renault Kiger because it is so comfortable. The cabin is nice, it is airy. The seats are fabric so they don't heat up, which is a big boon in our conditions. And this is a nice, peaceful SUV to drive on your commute or on the occasional highway run. Now this cabin isn't without its flaws. The quality is not uniform throughout. The handbrake, it does feel a bit flimsy. The screen, even though it does get wireless CarPlay and Android Auto, which is a big thumbs up, it doesn't always work as it's supposed to, and it can be a bit frustrating. It is neither the slickest screen in its class. The competition does offer slicker screens which get better graphics, but otherwise still quite a good cabin on the Renault Kiger. Now talking about the way the Kiger drives. So the 1 litre turbo petrol, it makes 99 bhp of power, and off the line it feels quick. Maybe not as quick as some of its rivals, but it does feel quick, and because of the inherent lightness that Renault cars seem to possess, it does feel fun to drive. Obviously chuck it into a corner, there is grip, but then again the steering is so lifeless, you really don't want to chuck this SUV around a setup bench too hard. You want to take it easy, but when you get on the straights, you can mash on the accelerator, and once the boost kicks in, it feels fun. You also get 3 drive modes: normal, eco and sport. I've stuck it in normal right now. In sport, the throttle mapping, it does get too aggressive, and this is a Vocal engine, make no mistake about it. It does feel like a 3-cylinder. It does feel unrefined, especially when you are idling. That could have been improved with the 2022 Kiger. That's a miss, but otherwise it's hard to fault with this engine. The 3 drive modes, you also get a eco mode that bumps up the fuel efficiency, and these drive modes are not just for show. So they do change the throttle sensitivity, it do change the gearbox mapping, so you can feel them working. In fact, in eco mode, if you try to attack an incline, you will have to give partial throttle because the throttle modes are very effective. Now summing up the 2022 Renault Kiger. Now the reason why the company has updated the SUV in less than a year is that it was a sales success. They have sold actually 50,000 units of this SUV via sales in India as well as exports, and it's easy to see why. Because the Renault Kiger is frankly a very good package. You get an SUV-like driving position at hatchback price, you get 4-star safety, you get good features, you get great ride quality, and overall the package is very well thought out for a country like India. Prices for the 2022 Renault Kiger start from Rs 5.99 lakh ex-showroom, and for a marginal price increase, you get a lot more equipment and some styling tweaks which keep the Kiger fresh. And in our opinion, it continues to make the Kiger a bestseller for Renault in India.